But what happens when
a
a high-value man and a high-value woman come together? What kind of a home does that make?
A busy one.
A very busy home. And that's the thing that people are not talking about, right? Typically, there's something that we value that is paying a bit of the cost of the things that we are pursuing or the things that we're trying to do with excellence. I'm not trying to talk nobody into being an entrepreneur because I'm like, this not for everybody.
Right.
This is not for everybody.
Them bills don't care.
Everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur. There will be many seasons where those things try to get out of order and we got to always get it back. God first, family second, business third.
Hey family, welcome back to The Love Lens, changing your view on love, one episode at a time. Make sure to take the time right now to hit subscribe, like, and follow. Hey, I want to know how this episode goes, so make sure that you comment down below. I'm Coach Cassie, your host. So today I want to welcome back to the podcast my husband, Andy Henriquez, the master storyteller, the man changing lives, one story at a time. Hey, honey.
I got to take you on the road. I like that introduction.
You do
appreciate
take me
that.
on the road. You take me on many roads. Hi, cutie.
What's up, babe?
So I want to get into this whole notion of a power couple. We are often emulated or put on a pedestal in terms of our relationship and what we show on social media. So I'd like to kind of deep dive into this notion of being a power couple. Yes,
so here's one of those things, right? I think we have had many instances where, friends, family members are like, oh, you guys are the power couple.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I've ever really embraced that, right? And I think the reason why is that we are both, people with like these big goals, big expectations. And so we always feel like we're pursuing the next iteration.
Yeah.
So I don't think we ever feel as if like, oh, we've arrived. We're just this power couple. By the way, what goes on through your mind when they say power couple?
I think it's kind of cool. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, power couple. That means we're doing things out here in these streets. But at the same time, please don't put me on a pedestal.
Yeah.
I think I continuously repeat that we're not perfect.
Yeah.
We mess up.
Yeah.
And we're in this journey together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I tell you the other thing, I think the reason why I tread lightly on the whole power couple thing is because when we have gotten in really close proximity to people who you could say are power couples, I think what we've realized is that there was typically a very big cost that came with that, with that title, right? And so since we've been so close up on what that cost can be, that we tend to be like, oh, okay, yeah, cool, power couple or whatever like that, right? Because here's the thing, typically, like when you think about with what we do, and you're building your business, I'm building my business, you're dealing with your clients, I'm dealing with my clients, there is also a cost, right? There's an unspoken cost. So everybody wants what you see in the light,
right?
But most people don't see what happens behind closed doors. Now, I think we manage behind closed doors well, but there is still a cost, right? And that is like typically this whole notion of like work balance and so forth. What we have found is that a lot of times things are not in balance.
Yes.
Right.
More of an integration.
And typically there's something that we value that is paying a bit of the cost of the things that we are pursuing or the things that we're trying to do with excellence. And that's the conversation enough people don't have. Right. So I don't know, Coach Kaz, what your thoughts are on that, because I know like there's the whole notion of like the high value man, right? When a high value man and I'm a high value woman.
And but what happens when a
high value man and a high value woman come together? What kind of a home does that make?
A busy one.
A very busy home. And that's the thing that people are not talking about, right? I mean, right now, we're at the stage right now where it's like, in addition to you managing your company calendar, you're always having to look at my calendar.
Yes.
I'm looking at your calendar, trying to also manage my calendar.
Yes.
Last year, and there's a possibility we may have to do it again, we had back-to-back conferences.
Jesus.
Where my conference
Hallelujah.
and your conference were literally within 3 days apart.
Yeah.
So you had Once a Woman Live down in South Florida, all these women flying in from all over the place so they could come and spend time with you. You're dealing with event planners. You are dealing with the venue.
Yeah.
You're dealing with your team. You're dealing with all of the preparation. The stress was out of control for you in your business. And at the same time,
oh boy,
when you have your husband that maybe could be a buffering or is supposed to be able to help you cope with the stress you're dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with the same level of stress where we have a conference that is literally going to be a couple days after yours. I'm dealing with event planners. I'm dealing with budget going through the roof. We're dealing with all the speakers and the folks that are coming in and so forth. And we got to smile and everything's all good. Yet in our household, it felt like chaos. No, seriously, right?
Yeah. I straight up wanted to kill you. I was like, Lord, please help me not kill my husband.
Yeah.
Because, stress is something that, we don't always deal the best with, right? And we often extend grace, but if we have something as big as these events where all these people are counting on us, then it's an exterior pressure that we don't normally have, right? So you try to show up for me in the capacity in which you could under all the stress that you were under. But then at the same time, I was like, but where's my husband?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So for me, as this notion of power couple, there's a lot of give and take, and we don't always show those rough spots. I would say that was one of our roughest patches in our relationship, because it was just like, but I thought you were going to be here.
Yeah.
And essentially you were, but physical and mentally being there are two different situations.
And I find myself in a situation where it's like, I'm torn, right? Because I'm there at my wife's event.
Yeah.
And I want to be there to support my wife. And at the same time, I'm dealing with the mental guilt of, oh my goodness, I should be preparing. And there's all of these things. So I'm trying to be present.
Yeah.
But it's hard for me to be present because of all of the things that are going on at the same time. And that's the kind of stuff that people don't really talk about, right? And that's the kind of stuff you gotta work through.
Right.
If you want to quote unquote be a power couple, because if you're a quote unquote power couple, that means that there's probably some tremendous demands on both of your lives.
Right.
And now you're merging two lives that both have demands, a lot of things going on. So here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest, right? Like, I wouldn't trade it personally because I believe God knew exactly what I wanted, right? Or not what I wanted, what I needed.
Right.
Let me say that right. God knew what I needed.
Yes.
And he knew that I needed a woman that had vision. He knew I needed a woman that was going to push me. He knew that I needed a woman that was going to make me want to be a better man, a better husband, a better entrepreneur, right? But I don't throw no shade on the married couple where there is, and we've met them both, where the woman is out there getting it and the guy is taking care of the household, more laid back, more like a supporter, helping manage the household, because that works, right? And I throw no shade on the scenario where the man is out there making it happen and the wife is an excellent homemaker, taking care of the kids, taking care of the household. Because, man, there needs to be that soft landing space. And sometimes, truth be told, you and I, we are so occupied in dealing with our own stuff that we can't always be a soft landing pad because the pad ain't soft right now. It's some stuff going on up in here. You know what I mean? Like, I'm dealing with my company. I'm dealing with this team. I'm dealing with this marketing initiative.
Yeah.
I'm dealing with some Sunday and work today. You know what I mean? And like you coming to me to be a soft pad, and I'm like, I need a soft pad. You like, well, I need a soft pad too. Well, I guess we just both go to sleep then.
Right.
We both go to sleep because I can't be a soft landing pad for you, and you can't be a soft landing pad for me. So let's just go to bed.
But you know what's beautiful? That doesn't then shut down our relationship or shut down how we support each other or how we interact the next day.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we've come to a place where if we don't get exactly what we need in the moment, we give each other grace to say, all right, right now is not a good time. Something's going on. Even if you may not spell it all out, it's like, okay, something's going on, but I'm not going to take this personally as if you don't care about me. You know? And I think that's a big distinction to make, especially as someone who is dating or in a relationship or even married, to start to think about like, are you learning the person that you're with and understanding their seasons and how they deal with stress and how they deal with life and what's coming at them to say, okay, well, you know, that person talked out the side of their neck just now, but then looking at everything they've been through, let me just give them a moment.
Two things come up when you say that. I don't know if you remember, we were doing a couples Bible study. And in the couples Bible study, one of the main things it was emphasizing is you're married to this person.
Yes.
You know this person loves you. And so when you are in those moments when you feel as if there's been a transgression and this person is selfish, they don't care about me and all that, to give them the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
Right. And so I know we both have had to leverage that in those moments when we got caught up in our feelings and we were going to create a narrative. It's to pause for a moment and be like, wait a second here. This is my wife.
Right.
She's not hating on me and doesn't want to support me and all that stuff right now. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt. She has her own things going on right now. And we're both having to constantly basically do a reframe so we could put our minds in the right space so that we can continue to make sure that we show up the way that we need to for one another. So I think that's one of the things is like understanding that you got to keep that, and it's not always easy, but you got to keep that perspective that like, this is a person I'm with and they not out to get me.
That part. Like,
right?
you don't
they're
wake
not
up,
out to get me.
You don't wake up with like, I just want to ruin her day. You know? So I constantly say, you know, he has my best interest at heart. Right? And that's it. So if things don't go exactly the way as planned, he has my best interest at heart. At the end of the day, he doesn't want to hurt me. He doesn't wake up with intentions to hurt me. And when we start to feel like that and move through that, it becomes a much more peaceful place in my heart.
And then I think too, being able to detach from the feeling and seeing things for what they are. So sometimes like if I'm going to be in a place where I'm going to start tripping, I have to detach from the feeling and then be able to pull back and see the situation and be like, oh, she just got a lot going on right now. It was nothing directed personally to me, right? And so one of the things I think for a lot of people where the fuse gets short is that like when we look at that moment where we both had the events, what essentially was happening is we were being flooded, right? There was a lot going on. And so like when you think about being flooded is like you got this cup, the cup can only hold so much and there's so much being poured into the cup one time, right? So it's like I'm dealing with the event planner, I'm dealing with this extra budget, I'm dealing with the emails and getting people to the event and what is the lineup going to be and preparing for the event. And you're doing the same thing. So all these things are getting put into our cup. And then now things that before would not be that big, when you flooded, you know what I mean? I mean, it ain't far from like when somebody hungry, you know what I mean?
You know, when I'm hungry, it's a whole other beast.
You know, we talk about like when, like back up when, you know, not feeling like yourself, right? When somebody's super hungry and you trying to engage, you like, whoa, time out. I get it. She hungry. Let me feed her because
this is a constant thing, y'all.
What's happening right now is she's hungry up in this piece, right? And I need to make sure that we get some food in her system, get them blood sugar levels, whatever levels in that body back right, so I could do it. We were flooded. We were flooded. And basically there wasn't much more room in the cups at that moment.
Mm.
So once you get flooded, there comes a moment where you just like,
yeah. But one of the biggest things that come up for me in that experience of us both having huge events within 3 days of each other were all the unspoken expectations, right?
Yes.
The way in which you show up for me every single time has become an expectation.
Yes.
It's unspoken. So it's like, oh, of course Andy's going to be there. Of course he's going to do this thing. Of course when I ask, he's going to come. Right? So when those answers started being no, I was like, what you mean no?
Yeah.
What we talking about right now? I'm not. You know, it's just literally, I started shutting down because I had all of these unspoken expectations
100%,
of
100%.
who you were going to be for me during this event, because essentially every event I've had in my life, you have been a part of in that capacity.
Yeah.
So then now when you told me, hey, boo, I got an event 3 days later.
And the thing I realized was like, I have to learn too. I didn't have it to give.
Mm-hmm.
I did not have it to give, because normally I would have to be in the front of the room. Here's the thing I want people to understand.
You gotta be the guy.
With me going to your conference, I don't get the luxury to just be like, see, let's clarify this for the people, right?
Okay.
Because some people are thinking like, oh, I'm hosting a conference, so my spouse is there. And we've seen that plenty of times.
In the back somewhere.
So the spouse is in the room, and the spouse gets to be in the back.
Yeah.
You are America's go-to love coach.
Yeah.
And because of the nature of what I do, maybe if I did something different, but typically if I'm in the room, it's like, oh yeah, babe, you here, so grab the mic. And babe, you here, we have you on the panel. And babe, you here, we gotta have you do this.
Right.
And babe, we here, we gotta have you do that. And I'm like, what? Like, can I be here without having to be completely on?
Yo,
and you were accustomed to all the previous times that was always the case.
Right.
And you know what I mean?
And it was a no in that moment. We didn't have any pre-conversation.
We didn't have no pre-conversation.
Right? So no pre-conversation, what you've always been. And then it's like, what you mean no? So for me, it's like everything came tumbling down. It was just like, what am I supposed to do now? This is what we've always done. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, so I was freaking out.
Yeah.
But then I was like, I didn't want to go off on you. So then I shut down.
You see, I'm glad you said that, because you, at that moment, once again, stress, flooded, you didn't get to articulate it like that, right? You just was shutting down. It was like, all right, whatever. You want to show up, show up.
Right.
If you can come for 2 seconds, come for 2 seconds.
Go ahead.
If you ain't coming at all, don't come at. I'm like, really?
The video.
I'm like, what is going? And then in my brain, I'm thinking like, is she tripping right now?
Yes.
Because I show up and I play full out and I'm supporting her, but does she not have no compassion for me?
None.
I got my event coming up.
None.
Like, I gotta, like, what is happening right now?
Right.
So then you have, you know, each individual has their own narrative. And quite honestly, it's easy for us to articulate it now. Truth be told, we did not have the ability to communicate about this before the fact, right? Bad. And clearly, if we were to do it again, and we might have to, that's the crazy part.
Y'all pray for me.
Right?
Y'all pray for me.
That we would have to have this conversation in advance, talk about expectations, set parameters, and so forth, so that we could make it work, right? And that's the part of the quote-unquote power couple that I think people don't see.
Yeah.
And I also think that there's a lot of people, there's something that they're pursuing, but they don't know the cost of the thing that they're really pursuing. And so, like, I told you the other day, I was getting ready to get into bed. I said, Coach Kaz, I'm not trying to talk nobody into being an entrepreneur. Because I'm like, this not for everybody.
Right.
This is not for everybody.
Them bills don't care.
Everybody is not built to be an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Now, I know there's a lot of arguments like, you know,
follow your passion.
Are entrepreneurs born or are they made and all this stuff. Can you learn the skills? Absolutely. But truth be told, those businesses wouldn't exist if everybody was an entrepreneur, right?
Right.
We need some people that, you know, they're going to play their role. They're going to work and so forth. And the reason why, it's not that, hey, if that's your dream, your passion, but there is a cost.
Right.
And it's more than what you are seeing on the outside.
Mm.
And the reality of it is that, as like Lamar, our coach, would even say,
yeah,
your business doesn't care about how you feel.
No.
The external dynamics don't care about how you feel.
Mm-hmm.
Your employees don't care about how you feel. They still want to get paid.
No.
Nor do they care when life is lifing.
Exactly.
And let's call it for what it is. You also carry the burden of, even when things are not going the way that you want to, that there are people who are depending on you.
Right.
And typically in those situations, truth be told, you're the last person you're actually thinking of. You're thinking about all the people counting on you, between your clients, your employees, your family.
Mm-hmm.
You're not even at the forefront of your mind. You might have been at the forefront of your mind when you signed up for this thing.
Right.
But now you realize that there's so much more to this than what you're thinking. Exactly. You know what I mean? And I don't think everybody wants to carry that load. So now if somebody says, I want to be an entrepreneur, I'll be like, all right, great. Why do you want to be an entrepreneur? Because I want to find out, it better be for more than I just want to make some money.
Right.
Or because I want to work less hours and have,
I have worked more hours.
You gonna work less hours? Okay, Jack. Right? I'm looking at you now, right?
Yes, Lord.
And you work 3 times the amount of hours as a full-time entrepreneur than when you had a gig. And I had a demanding corporate gig and you had a demanding job, right?
Mm-hmm.
That, guess what? I work way more hours.
Yeah.
Even though that gig, working as a corporate accountant, I would have to be at the client site sometimes by 8.
Mm.
If I have a client down in Miami, I'm leaving the house perhaps at 6:45 to make it there by 8.
Mm-hmm.
The client is typically leaving site at 5, 6 o'clock. I'm staying on site till sometimes 8, fighting traffic to get home by 9. That means I left my home at 6:45 a.m. I'm getting home at 9, and I'm about to do it again and again and again. And I'm like, but I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to get my time back, baby. And then you become an entrepreneur. You're like, they lied. They lied.
Now you
about to get your time back. Because guess what? As an entrepreneur, your brain never really turns off. And so there's always something you're ideating, executing, figuring out, problem solving.
It's the brain turning off part, right?
Yeah.
As two very driven people, it is very hard for us to turn off the business stuff, right? From morning till night. Now, our personal mentor says, 8 to 8 is business time. After that, don't tell me nothing. But in our businesses, we're still working at 8 because there might be a Zoom. There might be a conference call. There might be a presentation, so it's really hard to keep those
Monday
same things.
Night, I did something at 8 o'clock. Tuesday night, you did something at 8 o'clock. Wednesday night, I did something at 8 o'clock.
Right.
This week.
Right.
We talking about this week.
Right.
Right? On top of during the day. But let's talk about that right now, because that's something we need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So we might as well do it on camera.
Ooh.
What does that look like?
For us.
Because we really do need to. I got one suggestion.
Okay, go.
I got one suggestion that I believe, it's not big, but what it does is a lot of times people are looking for those, we talk about quality time, but it's actually the quality in the time.
Right.
Right. So you could spend an hour with somebody and only 5 minutes of that be quality.
Right.
You could spend 5 minutes with somebody and it be pure quality.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that I would say for us that I think would help, no, that's not too crazy.
Okay.
But it's when we are going to dinner,
we
leave the cell phones in the glove box in the car.
But then how do we get in our car? We need to get in the car.
Listen, see, you getting all super technical and stuff.
I'm just saying,
we can get the cards. We don't, I mean,
listen, I think I've been doing pretty good about putting the phone down.
All right, listen. What I'm saying is no phones even at the dinner table.
Okay.
Right? That would be huge for us. It'll be huge for Ava too.
Yeah.
Because she's typically trying to get to.
Big
and what it
girl.
does is it forces, because even for us, even if we're not on the phone, it's right there.
Yeah.
And it's just a constant reminder
Of stuff.
what I got to look like, what I got to respond to, what do I need to do?
Right.
Like, so it's sitting there and our brain is still a trigger.
You see why I didn't keep that Apple Watch?
Yeah. So it's exactly right. Yeah. That's a whole nother thing. We're not going to talk about how I got you an Apple Watch and you sold it or whatever you did. We'll save that for another episode, right? I still need to talk to my therapist about that. But listen, right? So one is the phone thing, I think would be huge.
Okay.
I got a second one.
All right. What's the second one?
I got a second one.
Go ahead.
The second one is now we both are working from home.
Okay.
It's already proven that when you're working from home, stepping out, going for a walk, even if it's 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, here's where the danger is. We could be in the house all day long and both of us are working and never connect all day long.
Yeah.
You on meetings all day long. I'm on meetings all day long.
Yeah.
You in front of the video camera all day long. I'm in front of the video camera all day long.
Yeah.
Right? Then we got to get Ava. Who's taking her to what? Then we get back. We got to get her in bed. Why? Because there's probably another Zoom session coming up. Like, listen to this.
Right.
That's madness, right? So the thing is, like, we got to be intentional to be like, hey, look, I know your schedule's crazy. My schedule's crazy. But we go find the time today. And in the middle of the day, we go take this 10-minute, 15-minute walk real quick on the trail. It's only going to help both of us anyway. It's good for our mental health. And it's also an opportunity for us to connect and step away from the business for a moment. And it's not a big, I think the things that's not sustainable, and it doesn't mean, well, we would do it all the time. The things that are not sustainable is the things that it's a big initiative to do it.
So can we make rules to not talk about business on this walk?
That's the part that is going to be the biggest challenge because part of us, we're talking about the ability to be a soft landing pad for one another.
Yeah.
And because of the fact that most of our stressors and things we're handling has to do with business, the first thing we want to bounce off of one another is something going on with business, right? And sometimes when we take that off, we're like, yeah, so what are we going to talk about?
Favorite color is pink.
What do you want to eat? Yeah, my favorite color is, what's your favorite color?
Look, we played the Love Deck the other day when I had that interview.
So,
and we still talked about some
I
things.
think if we did something intentional, like we took the Love Deck with us. And yeah, that's a cool rule. But I think there needs to be a tool to facilitate it. Because then what we do is we just like, so what do you want to talk about? Okay, well, we can't talk about, okay, so... Hey, all right. So, Ava won the 400 meter and she got a gold, right? Isn't it cool? Ava beat the boys and the girls in her class and she got the gold medal.
Across 7 grades.
Across all the grades, right? So we'll just pick some random stuff, but maybe the Love Deck is where it's at.
I think so.
I think what we do is we take the Love Deck with us. And then that way now we're walking. And then the Love Deck is going to allow us to have conversations, but conversations of substance.
Right.
That's what's cool about the Love Deck, you know, that we are having these conversations, but they're conversations that even being married 10 years that give you some greater intimacy and remind you of why you love one another and the whole nine. So that's 2. Cell phone, left in the car, in the glove box during dinner.
Yes.
The Love Deck.
The Love Deck.
When we're getting out there, taking those walks, I'll let you suggest the third one.
I want to eat. You know what I'm saying?
You always want to eat.
Yes. So like,
we just talked about not having cell phones when we go to dinner.
That was time. There's like 17 other times that we eat. So, you know, can we do a snack time? Can we do a lunch time? Like the thing that we haven't gotten good at is that thing that we said a couple of Bibles.
Right now, huh?
I am hungry right now.
This girl just said a lunchtime, a snack time. Okay, got it.
I stay hungry. I stay hungry. I forgot.
This girl hungry.
I forgot my lunch.
You are hungry right now.
Yes, I'm hungry. Okay, so focus.
You doing okay? I'm listening.
Okay, so when I don't know, one of our things that we went through together talks about doing a meeting on Sundays to talk about the week.
Yes.
I think we did that twice, right? But if we actually made that a thing to look at the week, because I feel like there's so many things that surprised us.
Yes.
It's like, oh, that's today. Oh, you didn't talk to me about that. When do we talk about it? So to like talk about the week
here's the truth.
And put in our lunches.
Here's the truth. You know why I've avoided that conversation with you?
The honey-do list?
Because
I'd be having a long honey-do list.
You're a planner. You like to get things done.
I do get things
done. I am a very singular focused kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
And we actually should do that on Sundays. Talk about the week. I have, tell you right now on camera, I have avoided it.
Ooh,
and the reason being is because I'm afraid of being flooded.
Oh.
That's it, right? It's like, I totally see the value of it. You got a schedule, I got a schedule, let's do a check-in. But typically it's gonna be a lot of extra things in there that are just, they're gonna be stressors for me. So I think we gotta find a way to navigate that.
Well, I've been trying to navigate that for a decade.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is that let's talk about it, right? We just built a little different, right? So
we are built different.
So and God knew this, right? But so for me, planning one vacation that we are planning, we're paying for, and before that vacation even happens, already talking about the next vacation.
You know, they say happiness is all in the planning.
I'm listening to you. But when you be talking about these vacations, you don't just be talking about like, hey, we driving down to the Keys, right? Like you talking to me one moment about Bali and hey, this is the Bali and we're going to do this and we're doing that. And it's how long it's going to take us there? A day. What? We going there and it's going to be a day. What is a day? Like over 24 hours, brother. Like I'm going to be where on a plane for over 24 hours? Yeah. And you're like, we did it before. And like, oh yeah. And yeah, by the way, on top of that, you are going to have to be away from your business. There's 12-hour time gap and all that. Hey, but babe, on top of that, we ain't do that trip yet. But yeah, we need to do Maldives though, also for our thing. So we should book that. I'm like,
for our 10-year.
I'm like, and then on top of that, we're right there where we also like bought a house that we ain't even move into that's getting renovated and so forth.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe I got to sit, but I know for most guys, that is flooding.
That's flooding you.
That is flooding. It ain't just me. Because if I bring this up to my guy friends, I could just see their body language, the way they squirm.
So what you tell me, right, is that you're a person that does something one at a time. And for me, as someone who plans things out, that's stressful because what I have learned is if we only do one at a time, we're already behind the ball, right? We're already behind. So if I wait until Bali to plan our 10-year, then the prices have already skyrocketed and it's already ridiculous and we're not going anywhere.
And I think this is the part that takes the wind from underneath my sails is that I feel like there is no pause.
No.
There is no, you know what? I'm a lay back because we did this. Let's enjoy this for a moment. Because normally the payoff, like, if I be like, yeah, let's stop Maldives, you just go hit me with the next one. So it's like, I realized there is no finish line. And I get it. I understood that when you signed up for marriage, there is no finish line. But I didn't realize there was no finish line with trips and things and that and I need to process and get through one and feel like I accomplished something, right? Look, here's what has been found. You have taught me this, right? For people who are achievers, if you achieve, and you don't give yourself an opportunity to experience a payoff, you don't give yourself an opportunity to receive any type of dopamine or experience any kind of joy from the achievement.
Yeah.
And every single time you achieve, there is no celebration. There is no payoff. You just move to the next thing. That is going to bring you to burnout.
Right.
And the reason being is because you are training your body, you're training your system that this very thing you sacrifice for, this very thing that you pursue, there is no payoff.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel sometimes when it's like the back-to-back-to-back thing. It's not a payoff. You're not going to pause and it's like, hooray, we did it. It's be like, but what about this? And we need to do this. And we need to do that. And what about that? And what about this?
It's always
and it's
a
like,
list.
I know it's always a list, but the same principle that you had to teach me with like the things that I'm
but you
starting
talking
to
about
achieve.
Vacations.
I got you. Nobody's trying to take away your vacations, Coach Cass.
No
one's trying to take away your vacations. Just listen to me.
No one's back-to-back trips.
No one's trying to take away your vacations. Listen to what I'm saying to you, right?
That sound like
but the
chaos.
same thing you told me, hey, babe, I forgot where I was. No, I remember where it was. I was, this was much earlier in my speaking career. I was speaking and I got in the front of the room and I was offering products in the back of the room and you did the math of the amount of people standing in line, the amount of money I was selling the product for. And you came over, you said, babe, look, this is what you made. And I was like, okay, good. We got to go to the next session. You're like, stop.
Mm-hmm.
Are you serious? You need to celebrate. You did this in 45 minutes.
Right.
Most people don't even make this in a year.
Exactly.
You have to pause. You need to celebrate.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa. I realized I'm always trying to figure out how do I make it better? And so I wasn't celebrating. And truth be told, that is a recipe for burnout.
Yeah.
Right? So the thing is with those things, nobody say we can't do those things. And Coach Cass, that is who you are, right? You love experiences and so forth.
I'm the chief fun
But what
officer.
I'm trying to tell you is the chief fun officer also has to incorporate like, there's a payoff clearly for you, right? There's payoff. You like, got my vacation next, right? But like, your brain works one way, but then you got to say, okay, his is a little bit different. I need to chill out for a moment. Maybe go, hooray, this was cool. We did it. I'm going to time this out a little bit before I run it back. You don't run it. Cass, I've been on vacations with you and we're still at the destination.
Stop doing that. Now, mind you, I want to say last month, I took ladies to Grenada. We went to Grenada. 6 days, 5 nights.
Which ladies? The ladies in the Real Love Network.
Yeah, the ladies in the Real Love Network. We went on a Wanted Woman Escape. Next year is going to be Antigua, right? Then I
By
took
the way, it's
Ava.
pretty. It was. It's. I was just saying, it was sort of cool to see the T-shirts because you had all the places you guys had been, and then you put like next year with a question mark.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's awesome, right? I love seeing it because it's already who you are, and you're taking these amazing, successful single women, they're working through their stuff. And at the same time, they're having these amazing experiences and traveling and so forth, which is why I'll never get surprised that every time it sells out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we only got a couple.
That's why you were like, remember you were like, Andy, I don't know, and stuff going on. Like I was like, Coach Cass, they ain't missing their trips.
They not missing no trips.
They might miss some of this other personal development stuff. They not missing these trips.
You're right. And it's a no drama, no workshop, no judgment, fun time for women to get together. We had doctors, lawyers, chief medical officers, educators, accountants, like
engineers.
Engineers, Harvard grads. I was like, okay, you went to Harvard? Let me find out, right? You know Barack? No? Okay. All right. So we had a good time with that. And then 3 days later, I took Ava to Jamaica to hang out with grandmas, right? In the countryside. She said, I want jerk chicken and beach. And that's what I gave her. Then at the end of the month, we went to Atlanta, right? So all of that together for me, that's a beautiful month. For you, you'd probably have a heart attack.
Well, we never use the word heart attack.
Okay, not heart attack.
No, I have no heart attack.
You just be stressed.
I would, yes. And typically the stress comes for me. Here's what, quite frankly, the stress is. I guess because I think the goal for all of us is we want to be able to build a business that when you're away from the business, it goes. And I'm very grateful for my team. But the thing that we also know is that we have businesses that we are essential part of the business, right? Yeah. And so for me, with the ideation and things going on, my brain is hard for me to detach because, hey, what are we doing next? What's the next initiative and so forth? And I want to make sure we're all on board and so forth. So that's the part that gets stressful. It's not the vacation. It's what I think the vacation is taking me from.
And so here's what I say to you. Maybe there's a different way you should be structuring your business, your team, and how you guys operate to be able to step away.
Well, we know we're able to, Coach Cass, right? We do this all the time, right? We know we have to do this, right? However, you still know when there's a lot of stuff going on, like we go on vacation, sometimes it takes us like 48 hours to purge. I've had to get on you to get you to check out.
Yes.
Cause we at the airport, we on the thing, you trying to tap on the thing, you trying to do podcasts abroad. Like, what are we doing right now? I thought we on vacation.
Right.
You doing site visits.
It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Integration.
So I'm wondering if by the end of this, people hear this conversation, if they're going to want to be a power couple or not. I'm still not claiming the title of a power couple.
We're powering through.
And that's what you got to do. You got to power through, right? But I think what we realize is that it takes work.
Yeah.
There's a cost involved and you need to count the costs. And I believe you need to be very clear on what's important. Because at the end of the day, I think that's our saving grace is that we know what's important, right? For us, it's our relationship with God and it's our family and then it's business. And there will be many seasons where those things try to get out of order and we got to always get it back. God first, family second, business third.
So looking at your current schedule of how you have your life laid out, do you believe?
Well, you're trying to turn this into an on-air therapy session. Well, like, what's happening right now? What are you doing right now? Right? Whatever you're trying to ask me beyond this, we're going to do this off camera, right? I've been vulnerable enough right now and very real, but I don't know what you're doing right now. I'm done. I'm over it, right? I'm over it, right?
No more questions.
No, I'm off the record right now. I'm off the record, right? No, but I'm with you, right? But obviously this conversation needs to continue.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll bring it back on another episode. We'll continue this conversation. But I enjoy being on the podcast.
I'm mad that you're trying to end this episode, though.
I'm not trying to end the episode.
It sounds like a closing point.
It's not a closing point. I'm trying to make sure I got an opportunity to come back on the podcast.
Okay. All right, power couple. I'll leave it be. Very well, Sir Andy, since you want to say no more questions.
All right, what's the final question you got, Coach Cass? What's the final question you got?
We just laid out 3 priorities.
Yeah.
So looking at your schedule right now,
yes,
would you say they align in that order with those 3 priorities?
With the 3 priorities. God. I feel like I have my own personal regimen I do. I could probably do a better job of including the family in that regimen, right? So, so it's important to me. I'm, be listening to some kind of word, either getting in the Bible, doing some kind of devotion. I mean, it's natural. Yes, we go to church on Sundays, but I'm talking about the daily exercises.
Yeah.
We do our prayers with Ava and so forth, but we could probably do a better job. And I know you typically I've seen you where you got a study you're doing and so forth, but I think as a family, that could look better.
Okay.
As a family.
Yeah.
Beyond church on Sundays. The second thing is family. I feel like family is the refuge. I mean, I don't think I always get it right, but I think if someone were to interview you and Ava on the record, I think y'all would say that, hey, like we even think about this week, right? Obviously we both had stuff, but for the moments that matter, Ava had important moments this week And in the midst of everything, we made sure we were there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even in those high stressful moments for both of us, 9 out of 10 times, we coming through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were just talking about that conference with all that stuff we was talking about.
We were both there.
We both came through.
Have you ever struggled when it comes to conversations on dates, maybe a first date or even your 50th date? One thing I know is that we need to have more meaningful conversations, and that's why I created the Love Deck. 60 questions to ask before choosing the one, but really to deepen your conversations. So whether it's with that guy that you're dating or with your mom or your close girlfriends, what I know is we gotta speak more to the heart of our people. Grab your Love Deck today. It's a great gift for others, and you could get it right now in our Amazon store. Pick up yours. One side is affirmations. The other side is dating conversations. Get yours today. Pick up the Love Deck.
I came through for you.
You did.
You came through for me.
I did.
Right?
Squishy pants.
Truth be told, even today, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We came through for one another, right?
Yeah.
Right. And then the gorilla in the room, though, is the business.
Yeah.
Because in both our cases, the business is, what was it? Little shop of horror.
Little shop.
Remember that the plant Seymour had to feed it.
Feed me.
But like the plant always wanted more.
Yeah, the Venus.
So you start off first with the one little pinky giving the plant blood. For those of y'all don't know, that's the old school, but that's what the plant was taking blood.
I remember that part.
Yeah, that's why he had Band-Aids first on the pinky finger, then on the next finger, next finger, next finger. So businesses can be like that.
Yeah.
Where they just take and 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 take. And at some point, you got to create boundaries or it just keeps taking. You know what I mean?
Say it again, brother.
You got to create boundaries, right? And I think that's what part of this conversation is about, that we're realizing that there needs to be additional boundaries in place.
Right.
Because otherwise, the monster is never satisfied.
Yeah.
It's going to want to keep eating.
There's always going to be something.
Yeah.
You know, there's always going to be an email to check, a social media post to approve, a phone call to make, a credit card to check or fix or call, follow-up call. You know, there's always going to be something.
Yeah.
So it's for us to say, what is our time? What is my time? What is your time?
Yeah.
Right? Where is the rest in our lives, in our daily? I know some couples, they purposely watch shows at night just to detach from the business and the world. So they binge watch whatever.
But that's what we gonna use. We gonna use the Love Deck. We about to listen. We gonna do this one bite at a time.
Okay.
We gonna do the dinner thing.
Okay.
Phones in the car.
Uh-huh.
We gonna find opportunities to go take those walks with the Love Deck.
With the Love Deck.
Put the Love Deck in hand. So that way, when we say we not supposed to talk about business, we got something to talk about.
Yeah.
Did we say what the third thing was gonna be?
Oh yeah, you said that Sunday meetings was flooding. I was saying to eat together. Can we?
Well, the eat together as a family, that's huge.
No, but me and you, we home together.
I know, but the eat together as a family with no devices would be huge.
Okay.
Because we try to do it, but we rush through it.
Yeah.
If we could be present in it,
like it all depends if we have a Zoom
our
or not.
version of eating together as a family is like 10 minutes. Like, boom. Yeah. All right, everybody sit down, get your food. Boom, boom, boom. All right, let's go.
Now, who gets up when we eating? For some reason or another.
I'm a fast eater, Coach Cass. All right.
You're like a vacuum.
Look here. We're gonna make sure that we work this out. Yes, we're gonna work this out.
Y'all heard it here. My husband said we.
Yes.
We. So that means I might bring you back to share how we're
Coach
doing.
Cass, you bringing me back, man, but the episode has to end for you to bring me back. You follow me? Like, I'm trying to leave stuff for my next visit on the podcast.
My goodness.
Understand, I'm coming back.
You're coming back?
Coming back.
I like you.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too.
Coming back. All right?
Okay.
Is this the part where we kiss?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
I love you.
All right.
All right, Andy, how can they find you on social media?
So social media, on Instagram, I am Show Up For Your Life. On all other platforms, Andy Enriquez. So Instagram, Show Up For Your Life. Always dropping some great videos, great tips, great content, especially for those entrepreneurs, speakers, coaches out there that want to strengthen their message.
I love that. I really do. All right, y'all. Today's episode was brought to you by The Love Deck, 60 questions to ask before choosing the one. So make sure to pick up your copy. The link is in, the description, right? Make sure to share, like, subscribe, all the things, right? Don't let this be something you keep to yourself. I want you to bless others with it, okay? In the meantime, in between time, keep loving, keep laughing, keep living. Bye.